What's up, guys? How are you all doing out there today? Hopefully you all are doing well. I've been wanting to make this video for a long time and I've finally gotten around to it. I saw a lot of you asking for me to go through what is the process of sending something in to get graded, or how do I know a card is worthy of being graded, and what do I look for uh, if I'm looking to grade a card. So I just want to put out a disclaimer before I get into all this. I'm not a professional. I'm not a card grader. I don't do a ton of grading. I've done it before, but I don't do a ton of it. But I'd like to think that I know what to look for in a card and what is a good card to grade and what is not a good card to grade. So, with that being said, let's go into a few things to look for on cards that the grader is going to look at. They're going to look at centering, they're going to look at the edges, they're going to look at the surface, and they're going to look at the corners. So, and now that goes for front and back. So let's get into the first issue card that we have. This is a Jordy from Optic, and you see how the centering is on here. The centering is way off. You see there's more white and yellow over here than there is over here. So the centering is way off on this card, and it actually shows on the back also. There's more white over here than there is on the other side. So there you go with a good example of an uncentered card that you would not want to attempt to get graded, because the centering grade was going to be terrible, and that's going to bring the overall grade down if you're one to send into BGS. Now you can use Beckett or you can use PSA. I know a lot of guys use PSA for like older cards, and if they want to do team registry, they'll do PSA team registries and stuff like that. But that's really up to you whether you want to do PSA or Beckett grading services. You can kind of do some research on that and see which one you want to do. So this next one's gonna show some edge issues. If you look, it's down here. The edge has a little ding in it. So. And it also looks like the foil's kind of pulling up on this thing too. So that's an example of a card you would not want to send in if your edges look like that. So I don't know. I guess I couldn't find a crazy good example of an edge issue, but that's the closest I could find. Next one is a surface. The surface issues on this card. It's a cool card. It actually also has a little bit of edge issues going on. But if we look in the light, you can see the thing has just been not taken care of very well with the surface. So there's scratches, there's smudges. Now the smudges you can probably get off, but the scratches are a no-no, especially with a chromium card. And then the last issue is going to be the corner. This Woodson, unfortunately, that corner's dinged right there. Anytime you see any type of ding on the corner, they're not crisp, or maybe they're a little rounded or whitening or something like that, that's a no-no. So if you get a card with, say, some smudges on the surface, I love my Honda microfiber towel, but you can get this anywhere that sells sunglasses or anything like that. Just get a nice microfiber towel. So let's take a quick look at this. There's some smudges on it looks like. Let's see if we can get some of them off. We're not going to get the scratches off. There's no way. But we should be able to get... We got a little bit of the smudges off of it, but I mean, the surface on this card is just not good. So it's very important when you first pull a card to get it into a sleeve. Now I have a few packs of these. Optic hanger packs that we can get some line parallels in here. I'm going to open up a couple of these and maybe give a few tips to some people. Like I said, I'm not a professional in this. I just open up cards. So if I'm looking at some base cards, I will swipe them across each other, no problem. But if I come across an insert or especially an autograph or something, I'm going to kind of pick the card up off of it and slide it over, so I'm not sliding it across the surface and risk damaging the surface of the card. Like I said, if it's a bunch of base cards like that pack unfortunately was, it's not that big of a deal, but there's got to be at least an insert in one of these packs, I would think. So Jared Goff, Golden Tate, Robbie Anderson, Michael Thomas. Now we have an insert, which is just a hollow. It's a hollow of the rookies, but I picked the card up off of it and slide it over so I don't hurt the surface of the card. And then I also try to, I think, what's up with that? Oh no, that's fine. And I also think that being as careful as you can inserting into the sleeve. Now I know they make sleeves that have kind of the edges cut off of them to make it easier, but that's kind of what I would be doing with a card fresh pack pull. I'm not going to be sliding them across like I do base cards. Base cards are kind of, you know, kind of whatever. So we got Evans. Ooh, we got a line parallel in here. Tyrod Taylor, AJ Green, Brian Hoyer. So with the line parallel, I'm going to pick this Hopkins up off of it and slide it over. It is a Malik McDowell. So if let's say I was going to grade this card, I'm going to be as careful as I can putting it into the sleeve, okay? And then what I'm going to do is get out my Ultra Pro graded card submission semi-rigid card holders. You can get a box of these online, I think for about 20 bucks or something like that. So, and then it's actually a cool little box that they come in. It's kind of a holder too if you want to, you know, get a bunch of cards together for submission or something like that. But anyway, here's one. And, you know, I've seen people do this a couple different ways. What I do is I make sure that it's good in the sleeve, and I just kind of, I start it, I grab it, but not too hard. I kind of pinch the sides a little bit, and I just kind of stick it down in there, and then that's it. So that's going to be ready for submission if I wanted to, you know what I'm saying? If this was a card that I wanted to grade, obviously I'm not going to grade this Malik McDowell, but that's kind of where I'd be at with it. So I'm going to open this other pack and then go into a couple of cards that I'm actually grading and kind of look one of them over. I already looked one of them over, but we got a rookie, Zach Cunningham rookie. Breeze, Olsen, Sharp. All right, so nothing really in... Oh, this is the rest of that other pack, but these hanger packs of Optic are a lot of base. So as you can see, we got a ton of base. Got one lime green parallel and one the rookies are Darius Stewart. Other than that, not much. But anyway, let's go into, get this out of here. Let me go into, I'm pretty much set on grading this card. Something that I'm looking for with an autoed card is going to be, especially with a sticker card, is the auto bold and completely on the sticker. Because if it goes off the sticker at any point, you're probably going to get a 9 on the autograph. And that's not cool. You want a 10. You know? You want a 10. And you got to be really careful getting these out of the sleeve. You don't want to fold over the edge on the bottom side of it. And you want to be very careful pulling it out. So I'm going to give this a good once over in the light. It actually looks really clean. What's that right there, though? Is that on the card, or is that... I think there's actually a small flaw with it right there. Let's see if we can get it off. That would be so sick if we could get it off. So I'm going to take my microfiber towel. If I can't get it off, then I'm probably not going to submit it. It looks like it might be in the... It's in the card. So there's a small flaw with it, unfortunately. So we're not going to do that. Probably not going to submit this one, unfortunately. I think that the surface would probably get somewhere in the... I don't know what they would give the surface for that one for. Honestly, I don't know what they would do that for. But one that I definitely am submitting is this Brady 1/1 illumination. Some of you might have seen my previous video on this when I did do the mail time video on this. I cleaned up the surface, put it in this Ultra Pro, and I'm still waiting on sending it in. I want to get a couple other cards to send in, so I think I'm going to actually run upstairs right now and grab one or two that I'm thinking about sending in, and take a look at them. All right, so here's the two that I'm thinking about. I pulled both of these myself. I like both the cards. My only concern with the Juju is that the auto is really, really close to going off sticker. Very, very close. That is crazy. All right, let me see if I can get this bad boy out of here very carefully. All right. I pulled this myself, so I think that, I would think that the surface is pretty good. It's solid. It's solid. The edges look solid. The corners look pretty solid. I can't really tell on centering. I think the centering's okay, but this is one that I may send in, and it makes it a little bit sweeter that I pulled it myself, I think. And it would be really, really cool to you know, pull this, send it in, comes back a 9.510. That would be super cool. I mean, I've done that before. I hit a Tyler Lockett gold RPA like, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago. And I sent it in and it got a 9.510. That was really cool. So the other one that I was thinking about doing is a Cooper Kupp. I think Cooper Kupp has a big upside to him. I think he does. The auto's solid. And I hate getting these things out of sleeves like this, but as long as you're careful. Let's see. Surface looks pretty good, I have to say. There's nothing really, no scratches or anything. So this one looks good too. I mean, I pulled both of these myself. They went straight into a sleeve, and I don't remember if I put it in here or if I put it in a top loader first, but so these are a very good possibility that I'll send in. I'm a little bummed about the Camara, however you want to say it, because I really did want to grade that one, but it's got a minor surface flaw, so I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave it raw. This bad boy right here, I'm very, very much so thinking a 9.5. I'm pretty sure it's going to gem, depending on the centering, but every time I look at the centering, it looks good. The centering looks good to me, so I looked it over pretty good in that other video too. So I know I'm kind of jibber-jabbering now, but I don't know. I think that's about all I wanted to go through. Microfiber towel, if you want to clean off the surface of your card, if you have a fingerprint from the factory or whatever, you want to try to clean the surface of it, that's how you're going to want to do it. Be careful when you are handling your cards, because if it ends up like this, where say this was a, I don't know, let's just go with Tom Brady or something like that, and you were like, oh man, you found this in your old card box, and you were like, sweet, and then you looked at the surface and you're like, oh man, I probably should have put that in a sleeve right away. So it's always important, if you get a good card, just pop that bad boy in a sleeve. That's all you really need to do. If you're not going to even put it in a top loader, at least put it in a sleeve so these things aren't rubbing around against each other and causing surface scratches like that. And essentially, for some collectors, ruining the card. For other collectors, it's not really that big of a deal, but for some people, it ruins the card. So I don't know, guys. I mean, that was a whole bunch of blabbing on my end. And like I said in the beginning, I'm not a professional. I'm not a grader. I don't even know if, you know, I don't even know if I'm right with this. I think it's going to 9.5. We will see. I'm going to send it in. The only other thing I wanted to touch on is, if you are going to grade your cards, yes, it can be fairly expensive. You may want to look for somebody reputable that does group submissions. You can save a lot of money, especially on shipping, because you can all chip in a little bit to do for like shipping and stuff. So I know a lot of times it's usually with a card without ink. I want to say they're around like 20 bucks or something like that to grade. And then I think it goes up a little bit if there's an autograph to grade and stuff like that. But PSA and BGS are two different ways of grading them. You all can do your research on them and see who you want to go with if you're planning on grading. But I think I have gone on long enough in this video. I hope somebody, at least one of you guys out there, at least one of you guys who has been asking me about this, gets a little bit out of this video. If you don't get anything out of the video, I apologize. But that is it for this video, guys. Thank you all for watching. And a couple of things that are coming up. We got Throwback Thursday back on the menu. I think that's going to start next week. I have a box for Throwback Thursday, but I'm in between. There's a couple things that I have on eBay that I'm waiting to sell, and then once those sell and I get paid, then I'm going to get another box for Throwback Thursday. But other than that, I'll be doing a hobby box giveaway towards the end of the month, and then possibly giving away something else too, which I'm pretty excited about. So I look forward to seeing you guys in the comment section and in the comment section of the next videos. If anybody has anything to add that I forgot to say or that I misspoke about, please say so in the comments. Other than that, that is all for this video, guys. Thank you all for watching, and I'll be back with another video soon.